Assalamualaikum. We are from Group 9. Today we are going to present on topic 9, which is Treasury Payment and Settlement System. The concept of value date is referred to some point in time at which the value of an account, transaction or asset become effective. In banking, the value date is when funds are posted on an account and available for immediate use. In trading, the value date is the time at which a transaction is fully cleared and settled.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Now I will present about nostro and vostro. Nostro and vostro are Latin words. Nostro translates as ours, referring to the fact that our money is deposited in your bank. Simply said, a nostro account is a foreign currency account held by a bank with another bank in another country. Meanwhile, vostro means yours, about the funds you have deposited in our bank. Thus, a vostro account is a currency denominated account held by a foreign bank in another country with a local bank. For example, Bank A is a Malaysian branch bank, while Bank B is one of Tokyo's Japanese yen currency banks. Let's say Bank A has an account with Bank B. Therefore, in such a case, the account for Bank A considered as nostro account because it has had an account on a different currency bank. Meanwhile, the account for Bank B is a vostro account in the local bank with its local currency. Now, I will pass to the next presenter.
Before I explain more about role of correspondent agent, let me explain first about correspondent bank. So basically, a correspondent bank is a bank in one country that is authorized to provide services for another bank or financial institution in foreign country. The most common services provided by a correspondent bank are currency exchange, handling business transaction, trade documentation, and money transfer. Next, go to role of correspondent agent. The correspondent agent acts as third-party bank, which is agent or middleman between different financial institutions, especially those in different countries. Besides that, correspondent agent provide treasury services between sending and receiving bank, such as fund transfer, settlement, check clearing, wire transfer, and currency exchange. This correspondent agent also act as a pivotal part of the financial industry. They provide a way for domestic banks to operate when it is not feasible for them to open up branches in a different location, especially in a foreign country.
Alright, thanks. Next for me, my name is MAZIAH MOHAMAD and my number metric is 270531. And I'm going to continue the presentation with CHIPS. What is CHIP basically? CHIPS is one of the primary clearinghouse system for large banking transactions in the US. In 2015, CHIPS already settled over 250,000 daily trade worth over $1.5 trillion in domestic and international transactions. CHIPS and the Federal Reserve Bank Fed wire fund service from the major networks for domestic and international transactions in the large dollar denominations. The clearinghouse interbank payment system different from the Fed wire transaction service in key areas. First and foremost, it is way cheaper than the Fed wire service, even is not as fast, and the dollar amount required to use this service are lower. CHIPS is a major clearinghouse for large transactions. The typical transactions that use CHIPS is over $3 million. Instead of sending the whole dollar worth of each trade, CHIPS function as a netting engine. In the house between 9 p.m. and 5 p.m. during such a period, CHIPS nets and pays, and from 5 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. the CHIPS system will release and nets undrays of payment. In the evening, CHIPS release any outstanding payment and Fed wire them to the bank.
Assalamualaikum. Now I will explain about what are those steps in processing fund transfer in CHIPS system. Basically, in chip system, there are two steps. The first step is clearing. The second step is settlement. Clearing is the transfer and validation of information between the payer financial institution and the payee financial institution. The second step is settlement. Settlement is the physical transfer of payment between the payer and the payee financial institution. During the clearing and settlement process, there are two types of payment message. The first type is credit transfer. The second type is debit transfer, or we know as direct debit. As you can see in the figure below, credit transfer is a payment service that allows a payer from one bank to send money to a payee from another bank. In credit transfer, there are 5 steps involved in this process, starting from the payer initiate the credit transfer to his bank until step 5, when the payee bank send payment confirmation to a payer bank. The second type of payment message is debit transfer, or we call as direct debit. Direct debit is a payment service that established by a payee of one bank to receive money from a payer of another bank. Basically, direct debit or debit transfer is just the same process as a credit transfer, but it involves 6 steps, starting from the payee initiate direct debit request until step 6, when the payee bank credit the amount of money into the payer bank. So that's all from CHIPS system. So now I will pass to the next presenter.
Real-time electronic transfer of funds and security system, or rentas, is a system where money being transferred from one bank to another bank on real-time and gross basis. Real-time means that payment transaction is not subjected to any waiting period. Gross settlement means transaction settled from one-to-one basis without bunch with another transaction. The function of rentas is to transfer money between banks in a large value payments. The second one is to make adjustment to the reserve requirements that the bank must hold with Bank Negara Malaysia. The third one is to settle money market transaction. The last one is to withdraw cash from their deposit account with Bank Negara Malaysia.
Now I will present about Euroclear. What is Euroclear? Euroclear is a central clearinghouse that helps settle and clear the security transaction through European exchanges. Besides, it acts as a central securities depository as it functions as a custodian for most of the financial institutions participating in European markets. Besides stock trading, Euroclear also involved in handling fixed income and derivative orders. To be simple, Euroclear is intermediary between buyers and sellers of financial instruments. They take the opposite position for each side of a trade, acting as the buyer to the seller and the seller to the buyer. So that's all from me. I will pass to next presenter. Thank you.
Now, I would like to continue to present about one of the Malaysian system, which is PIC. First, the origination. Kuala Lumpur Automated Clearing House, Clutch, is the first automated clearing house that is set up in January 1984, after that replaced by Sistem Penjelasan Imej Cek Kebangsaan (SPIC) in November 1997. How SPIC works. All check within a SPIC region will be cleared centrally at a Central Processing Center (CPC). Combination of the automated check clearing system with the imaging of inward check. Data on the inward check (MICR) line are transmitted to the paying banks, followed by image of the check in CD format. The benefit of SPIC, banks are able to process and verify the check based on the data and CD received. without having to use the physical check. Other than that, SPIC also process other clearing items such as banker acceptance, cashier order, demand draft, interest warrants, pension warrants, drawing voucher, and also ringgit traveler's check. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, next, I'm going to tell you about what is the Regional Check Processing Center, RCPC. A Regional Check Processing Center, RCPC, is a local Federal Reserve facility where checks that are drawn on depositor institution are processed overnight. A Regional Check Processing Center will conduct check clearing operation, including paper and electronic and interbank check clearing. A depositor institution is a financial institution such as a saving bank, credit union, commercial bank, or saving and loan where the public makes deposit. Due to the increasing reliance on electronic check processing, the Federal Reserve Bank mainly process electronic form of payment through credit card, debit card, and online account transfer versus paper check. Alright, now moving on how the RCPC work. The Federal Reserve Bank provide a check collection service to depositor institution. When a depositor institution receives deposit of check drawn on other institution, it may send the check for collection to those institution directly, deliver them to the institution through a local clearinghouse exchange, or use the check collection service of a correspondent institution or the Federal Reserve Bank. For checks collected through the Federal Reserve Bank, the account of the collecting institution credited for the value of the check deposit for collections, and the account of the paying banks are debited for the value of check presented for payment. And most checks are collected and settled within only one business day.
The last part of the presentation is about CSD, or Central Security Depository. CSD is the financial institution that holds financial instruments such as bonds, shares, equity, and provide safekeeping on this asset. They also allow ownership of those instruments to be transferred in electronic form through updating their electronic record, which known as book entry records. Based on the above figure, CSD manage the trading process between the market participants, whether they want to purchase or sell their instrument. CSD also keep safe their instrument until they want to make another transfer. So that's all from our group. Thank you for listening to our group.